My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me.
What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series 40th Anniversary Collection Series. We're having a look at Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Old Ben as he was called in the movie. Here we do have Obi-Wan in the packaging. Really loving this vintage style figure. It even has Kenner right here, which is awesome. We do have Obi-Wan in the packaging, as well as his lightsaber. On the back, no read-up, just other figures of the line. In Series 1, we do have Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Obi-Wan, R2-D2, and Darth Vader with the Early Bird Anniversary pack. Series 2 does contain the Death Squad Commander, Chewbacca, the Stormtrooper, Jawa, C-3PO, and the Tusken Raider. Really happy I found Obi-Wan, so what we're going to do now is take a little break, get him open up, and then we'll go on to the rest of his review. So sit tight, everyone. And here we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Old Ben, out of the packaging. Now, before we get onto the figure, let's actually show off his accessories. Of course, the first one being his lightsaber. Let's move him off to the side. Of course, Obi-Wan does have the blue lightsaber, as you can see. It is quite warped out of packaging. I'm not going to take a hairdryer to this because it is clear plastic, and clear plastic tends to warp even more under extreme heat, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to strain this out, but as it stands, it's still pretty okay. It's not too bad. And then we do get onto the hilt, where it has most of the detail, where you can see it has the gold button right here. Some more details here, the black handle, the little ring that's going to hook onto his belt. And like all the other lightsabers, the hilt can come off, or the ignited blade can come off, and we're left with the hilt. And if you want to have him pose with the hilt, you just find this little hook right here on Obi-Wan, slide that on, and there we go, we have the hilt resting on Obi-Wan. Now let's actually move on to his next accessory, which is going to be his robe. It is a soft goods robe, so it does come off no problem. And it's made of a really nice material. I do like the way it feels. So really glad that they include the robe. I want to say that his single carded release did have the rope, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to look that up before my final thoughts, so we'll move that off to the side, as well as the blade. And then we'll go on to the details for Obi-Wan Kenobi here. Now if we can move on to the face. And I'm going to say it does bear a really good likeness to Alec Guinness. However, it is a soft sculpt, so they did a little bit of paint wouldn't make this look so much more like Alec Guinness, but as it stands, it's a really good representation of him. You can see his hair is this really nice, it's not really white, it's almost like a cream color. And then they just added some highlights in his beard. Now, if you're looking for a good Obi-Wan, pay attention to how the highlights and the dry brush is in his beard. I have seen some where it's really heavy in some places. This one's actually pretty good all around. I do like that. They could have done a little more right back here on his hair, but it is pretty good. And then he is wearing his Jedi robe, his Jedi belt, and again here's that little loop that his lightsaber does hook onto. You can see he has an adventurer's pouch right there. His Jedi wardrobe does contain this long robe, so it goes all the way down to his ankles. And he does have some sculpting underneath here, in case you're wondering. Let's get the lightsaber off so we don't bend that accidentally. And his pants are really nicely sculpted. There's a lot of nice sculpting detail on them. However, you don't really get to see them that much because they are covered by his Jedi robe. But again, the detail is there. You just really gotta have to look for it. And although I kind of would have liked this to be a soft goods, I think the plastic was the right way to go, especially because, you know, it would be hard to match these colors because this isn't really white. It's like an off-white, almost yellowish cream color. Maybe an almond, I guess, would be the best way to describe that. But as far as his lightsaber goes, he can hold it in either hand, and his hand is a little bit rubbery, so we can get his hand to hold his lightsaber like so. And we can actually get him in two-handed poses. Now, I have noticed that the only way to get him in a two-handed pose, let's actually show that off. Whoop, and I just dropped the figure. But the only real way to get him into a two-handed pose is to have him holding the lightsaber at his waist. At waist level, and let's just get this hand into this to grab the lightsaber like so. And let's zoom out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. He does do two-handed poses with the lightsaber, but like I said, it is only at about waist level, because moving his arms up, his arms have the tendency to want to spread out, and the best way to have him in the two-handed pose is at waist level, but that is how he used his lightsaber in the movie, so I'm not really complaining too much about that, but it is something worth noting that if you're going to have him pose with his lightsaber, two-handed poses is going to be waist level. Other than that, one-handed poses can be any way you want. I kind of wish he had a little more mobility at the elbows. That would have helped out. Maybe a little bit more mobility inward to actually have his hands connect, because as you can see, there's a pretty big gap right there, so that hinders him from having any over-the-head two-handed poses. But let's move that off to the side so we can go on to Obi-Wan's articulation. He does have a ball hinge in the neck. You can see his head is moving nice on that ball joint. It does tilt some side to side, left and right. And it is on that hinge so he can look up even further and bury his head right into his chest there. Arms on a ball joint go out to about that far. He does do a full 360. He bends at the elbow as well as spins at the elbow. Bends and spins at the wrist. No ab crunch, but we do get a ball joint right here in his waist, which can bend back that far. And only that far forward. I don't know why the forward movement is less than the backwards movement. I don't know what it is, but he does also spin at that joint. And then he does have leg articulation. His legs do go forward and back. They go out to about that far. He does spin at the thigh, double jointed in the knee. So that's pretty good. No boot cut, because you can see the peg goes right into the boot right there. But he does have a hinge in the ankle, which you really only get his ankle about that far forward. Goes that far back. And forward facing pin for a rocker ankle. So all the articulation we'd expect old Ben to have here. So what we're going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, then we'll wrap up this review. So sit tight, everyone. And here we have Obi-Wan posed for my final thoughts. Something I forgot to mention during the review is that the hood does function. You can see it works perfectly well right here. You do have to finagle with it a little bit to get it to sit flush on his head, but once you get it to sit on his head, it looks really nice, as you can see. And I'm really happy I have this Obi-Wan. I did initially pass on his Black Series release, only because shortly after they announced his release for the Comic-Con figure, and then his Black Series release, they also announced the 40th anniversary line, which I was okay getting, and I'm really glad I waited for him. Now, I found this guy at Walgreens for about $19.99. That's basically what you're paying for Black Series figures. If you can find the Obi-Wan Kenobi and you missed out on his original Black Series release, this is actually a really good figure to have if you miss that figure. Or if you're a completist and you want all the vintage carded figures, you're going to want to have this Obi-Wan in your collection, especially if you have the R5, the Darth Vader, the Han, the Luke, the Leia, all those. You're going to want to have them in your collection. If you can find Obi-Wan, I really recommend you pick him up. And this is King of Dragons 5000 saying I really recommend Obi-Wan Kenobi. And until next time, guys, hope you guys enjoy my toy reviews. All my Star Wars reviews are also up, so go ahead and check those out. While you're at it, let me know down in the comments if there's a figure you would like to see me review. And if there is, let me know. And if it fits in my collection, I will definitely have a look at it. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.